Hello everyone, my name is Nicole and welcome to my channel. Somebody is outside using the weed whacker and I'm pissed. Okay, so anyway, I took a break from my previous two videos just because I want to talk about a little something bigger, something that I had in the back of my mind since a long time ago, and something scripted, so I am using a script today. Aha! So the big thing that happened this weekend was Sony and Marvel got together and now Spider-Man is going to be back in the MCU. I mean, for at least like 2 movies, but I mean 2 movies is better than none. So me personally, I am super excited about this because Spider-Man is one of my favorite superheroes in the MCU. Like, he is my favorite superhero in the MCU. He's my favorite superhero regardless if you're in the MCU or the DCU. Regardless, I kind of saw this happening since the beginning. So I'm just going to talk about this conspiracy theory that I came up with, that this whole Marvel-Sony fight and breakup and back together was just a publicity stunt. I don't really have any like actual evidence, but I'm just going to use like circumstantial evidence because there are some things that are like actually really sketchy that have been going on. So I'm just gonna like focus on those ones. First thing that kind of got me thinking that something was a little off was when it was announced that they were splitting and when it was announced that they were getting back together. So pretty much like right after Far From Home came out, they announced that they were splitting, and then like the weekend before Far From Home comes out on DVD, they're gonna get back together. I mean, it just kind of seems a little fishy to me that they would only be not in cahoots for that specific amount of time from when it released in the theaters and then when it released on DVD. I mean, that's not really grounds for saying that it's a publicity stunt. It's not like factual. I mean, it is factual, but like it's not like extreme evidence that'll like make them guilty right away. But I still have 2 more points, so like listen up. So the next thing that kind of makes me a little bit suspicious is the amount of back and forth that went on between Marvel and Sony and their fans during this period. So as most of us remember, when it was first announced that Marvel and Sony did split, most of us started blaming Sony until we found out that Marvel apparently asked for 50% of income from the Spider-Man movies. So, and then for a while, like a month, Marvel was put on blast, and we all sided with Sony on this one, and we're like, oh, well, Sony actually owns the product, and like they're paying for the entire thing, so why should Marvel get like half of it? Like, yeah, he's in the MCU, yeah, the MCU set up his success, but why should he get it? That's pretty much what we were all thinking. But then they got back together, and articles started coming out saying that Marvel didn't ask for 50%. One of the articles that I read through claimed that for 6 months, Marvel had put an offer on the table for 25% of profits. And that is a lot less than the 50% that we were all told in the beginning. And this was even confirmed by the head of Sony. So to bring it full swing, first we were mad at Sony, then we were mad at Marvel, and now we're not mad at anyone because they changed their facts so much that now we feel bad for attacking Sony and for attacking Marvel. So I just think it's a little bit sketchy, you know, that there was so much flip-flop and there was so much misinformation about the entire situation that it really affects how the fans see each company as they go along with their production. So I guess what I'm trying to say with that point is that they're both trying to recompensate for what they originally said and make neither of the companies seem in the wrong, which is why I think it's a little fishy. And then the last bit that I have about this situation is how silent the Marvel actors were about this breakup. One of the things that I found like really weird is that a lot of actors didn't really even say anything about this, and like Tom Holland, he went to those panels, like the Comic-Cons, and the fans were like specifically told, like, don't ask anything about this because, like, you know, for reasons. But there was one thing that he did say, and I remember hearing him say it, but I don't know where I heard it from. So I think it was during an interview. They were talking about the split, and Tom was starting to say things like, oh, it's not the last time we're all going to be together because we still have, like, we're getting together to do this one thing, but he didn't know what the thing was. If I remember correctly, he kind of took it back and was like, oh, I don't think I was supposed to say that, whatever. But that kind of leads me to speculate that, like, either he knew what was going on between Marvel and Sony and that they were planning on getting back together, or that Marvel and Sony didn't tell him, because, you know, he spoils everything, so why would you? But they didn't tell him, but because they were planning on getting back together and making up and creating this new contract, they still had him scheduled for events. So they had to tell them about these events because, you know, he had to make sure his schedule was clear and all of that. So I think that's kind of like what had happened. Maybe he did know, maybe he didn't, but there was a lot of, like, just silence about the entire thing. And, like, it could have been a part of the contract that he wasn't allowed to talk about it, and that the other Marvel actors were told not to talk about it. But then when Sony and Marvel made up and they got their contract back, it kind of seemed as if, like, more actors were talking about it. Like, I know Tom Holland posted about it with the scene from Wolf of Wall Street. Mark Ruffalo commented on that. Elizabeth Olsen posted something on Twitter saying, like, welcome back. So maybe it was something that was kept secret with the actors, that they didn't know about it. Or maybe it was something that they did know about and they just wanted to make it as, like, seamless as possible without any drama. I don't know, seems a little fishy to me. So that's pretty much all that I have to say about this conundrum. I am super happy, I'm super excited that Spider-Man is back with the MCU. I love Spider-Man. I don't want him to leave the MCU, like, ever. Like, even when his time is up, I don't want him to leave. I want him to stay there forever. But let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with me? Do you think that I'm crazy? I don't know. And again, this isn't, like, anything that's, like, proven, because it's just not proven, and it's just, like, a little conspiracy theory that I made up. So I don't want to get sued, I don't want to get in trouble, so this isn't trying to harm anyone or anything. It's just for entertainment. It's just me putting my opinions and thoughts out on the internet, and that's it. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you have a really good day, and goodbye.